what are some easy ways to transition from a day game approach to setting up a future meetup or date? So I know I acknowledge that Mr. Locario gave an answer to this kind of question before.
Um, well, I think it's pretty simple, actually. I think that my general day game style is to build investment, build some comfort, build as much sexual tension as possible, and then I'll just say we should grab a drink sometime. I'll wait for her to say yes. When she says yes, I'll just get her number, and yeah, and then from there on, it's largely logistics. So I just keep it simple. We should grab a drink sometime, or I mean, in small percentage of cases. Like, for example, if she told me she doesn't drink, I might say we should go for a walk sometime, or we should grab coffee sometime. But generally speaking, we should grab a drink sometime. If you did a good job building sexual tension, the girl will say yes the vast majority of the time, and then you just get her number.
Yeah, I want to say because it's only going to take 10 seconds here, but a lot of the times when I approach, I'll just give her the dial pad like this. I'm not like walking up like this, but it's like once the approach happens and there's a little bit of rapport built, there's a little bit of a camaraderie or something there or attraction. I won't ask or anything. I just will, and I'll kind of like shoulder up to her. I think it's more of a body language move than a language game, and like a language game. And but anyway, that's my quick take on that.
Yeah, I like that. I always do that too. Well, kind of a variation of that. So I will still soft close, but then instead of putting her number myself, I will give her my phone because I found that sometimes in the heat of the moment, you get one digit wrong, and then you're like, fuck. And then you'll wind up like trying to reverse engineer it and text like nine different numbers, hoping you get
Dude,
the right one.
this
But
has happened a
I've
million
just had that
times, bro.
happen too many times. So I
A
just like
million
give
times.
her my phone. No room for error that way.
That's
That's
that's that's a
I,
sad
I'll
coincidence.
say this real quick because I gotta head out right after this. But yeah, I just basically I usually give the girl my number and then she hits me up. And I usually already have the I say what I want to do before that even happens. So she's just calling or texting or whatever. And then I confirm what we're gonna do, and then we just basically do it. So before I leave her, I say, hey, let's meet up Friday, 8 o'clock for drinks, take down my number, you know what I'm saying? Text me your information, and then I hit her
Yo,
up.
Lucario, brother.
But
So like,
eat food beforehand because you ain't getting dinner, bitch.
well, yo, Lucario, I have a question for you, dude. So like when you do that though, like because I've done the same thing, and then I'll like get a call on like a Thursday night and be like, hello. And it's like and I can't recall which girl it was that gave my info to. And so how do you navigate that phone call when you get it?
Oh, I mean, usually I don't really. So the thing is, I don't really care who it is because I
Yeah.
just kind of. So like,
Yeah.
oh, that happened to me once before. So the girl texted me, and then I didn't know which one it was. So then I just said because we were supposed to meet on Friday. So I texted her back and said, "Hey, are we still on tonight for 8?" And then when
Yeah.
8 o'clock came, I went to the bar, and then she showed up, and I was like, "Oh, it's that girl." And now it
Right.
does
Okay.
this.
I've done the same thing. Yeah. That's
Lucario gets
Yeah.
a call from like some Indian scammer.
No,
Hello, my
like, I
friend.
don't even
He's
remember.
like, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll meet you Friday.
I'm the
Oh,
worst.
very good.
I'm the fucking worst. I'm telling you. But yo, man, I appreciate y'all, man. This was fun, man. We definitely need to do this again, man. So I'm gonna holler at y'all, man.
good
Hell
to
yeah.
see you, Lucario.
Thanks.
Take care, man.
Yes, Eric, good to see you too. Definitely, man. And good to see all of y'all, man. I'm holler. Peace, peace,
I,
peace.
I got a skedaddle too, but thanks for having me. And yeah, it was good to connect with all of you guys. JT, I think it's our first time talking, so good to meet you. We should maybe do a podcast sometime. And then Eric, for sure, I'm definitely down
Nice to meet
have
you,
a
man.
discussion
Yeah.
slash date. And everyone else, Ryan, good to see you.
Brother.
Good to meet you, Michael. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Enjoy on your Versailles.
Okay, so
Alrighty.
let me also add a little bit about what Alex said here. I'm very into like asking the girl to have a coffee. It would be really nice to have a coffee with you later, and then pause there. Just be completely quiet. And then if you say, yeah, that would be nice, then you ask for the contact details. That would help out so much when it comes to flaking and so on. One of the aspect is when you're doing the initial approach and having these initial conversations is what I found with a lot of James Tusk clients and my clients as well is that it's very important to make her feel really good in conversation, in the interaction itself. If she feels good in that interactions, she will most likely want to go out and see you next time. Absolutely. I mean, it's also depending on what your goal is, because if I listen to Hashim, for example, he probably going with girls that involves or belongs to the exception of the rule than rules itself. So if you just want to go and hook up, it's probably a different way to go about it. You can actually just say, oh, I find you really sexy, let's hook up sometimes, and then she's just going to give you the number. Most of them wouldn't, but those women that do give you the contact details, it will be much more straightforward. But those normal cases, and I would say 95% of my own clients, they will just want to have a second meeting, because that second meeting is many times easier said than done, I noticed. So it's important to have a very good initial conversations where you feel good in that particular conversations using conversational principles, and then just go ahead and do a false time restraint. Excuse me, I really have to go soon, but it would be really nice to have a coffee with you next week or in a couple of days. What do you say? Dead quiet, wait for a response. If she says yes, then say great. So and then you just put up your phone and ask for the number or what you prefer. WhatsApp is a big thing here in Europe, so most of the time we exchange WhatsApp. That is what I found is the best thing to go about it.
Yeah, I agree with what's been said. It's all about the lead up to the phone number close or the suggestion of a meetup or date that's most important. So it's what you say in the moment matters, but the lead up is so much more important. And to build on that too, I'll take an interaction as far as I possibly can in the moment, with one caveat: I don't want her to feel backed into a corner. So if I'm having a conversation with her and I keep looping her into different conversational threads and she can't get away from me, that's not good. But if she's heels planted, shoulders back, she's into the conversation, and I've got the time, I'm going to take that interaction as far as I reasonably can before the phone number. And if that means transitioning to an instant date, taking her to get a smoothie right then and there, a coffee, a tea, or whatever, right? And I just want to throw this out there because my girlfriend's going to watch this. I'm speaking in past tense. I have a fiance now, not even my girlfriend, my fiance. Okay. So this is how I would run my game in the past.
So who's watching, your girlfriend or your fiance?
Yeah. No, my fiance, one and the same. I just got engaged last month, so I'm trying to get used to calling her my fiance. It's a foreign word for me.
Hey,
Hey,
congratulations.
you got to move
Thank you.
faster. I got engaged in something like 2 weeks or something. Crazy, I know. And then married in 5.5 months, something like that.
Oh, you're a good man. It was a year and a half that we were together, and I finally said, well, I knew long before that she was the one for me, and I want to have a family, and I've had my fun. She's a wonderful person. I'm a very lucky man. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's no shame in guys being in a relationship either, especially, like someone who has advanced game in the field. Guys are always like, you need to have always be approaching or something like that, some kind of crazy expectation. It is completely normal to get into a relationship. Even Dan Bilzerian, like people think, I went over to his place last year. People expect that there are like 25 women there 24/7. You think that's really going to be the case? You think he wouldn't want some peace every once in a while? And even he said himself that there were periods where he would give up all the rotations of women that he was having, the crazy parties and everything, and just have a relationship for more than a year or a few months or something like that. There is no shame in having a girlfriend. In fact, it's a privilege having a girlfriend because there are so many guys who don't even have a girlfriend. So come on, guys, what are you complaining about? Anyway, I'll stop ranting.
Curiosity. Well, no, and to talk about curiosity, like has been brought up so many times, it's like, when you should be curious to have a relationship, because when you have a relationship to somebody, you really get to know them, a love relationship, an intimate relationship, then you're much more capable after this experience to have another and to, understand like, these attraction switches or something, or to understand who you are in order to, be there for somebody, or to put your best foot forward in that, or to frame that relationship. And I wanted to say one thing that's been brought up tangentially or just quickly between both Michael here and Erik about how to end a conversation. Like, because it's one thing to get it going, and then it was mentioned this idea of a false time constraint. Hey, I got to get going pretty soon. And then Erik also mentioned too this idea of when you're looping conversations and she's sort of like back on her heels in a not in a not in backed into a corner, but in a just a relaxed, like, this is great, I'm enjoying this. Well, it really helps to get a couple details in that initial conversation to know, like, we talk about logistics, to understand what is she up to, so that way you can say, well, why don't I let you get back to your friends, or why don't I, oh no, it looks like you're going to be, and talk about listening and empathy. Now you're really leading her back into her world. Because I know so often we talk about ending it on a high note, and oftentimes guys think that high note needs to be flashy or sexy or smooth. And it's usually, for me, it's just a reconnecting her back into the place that she was before I interrupted.
Sometimes I get every once in a while I get a question like, Ice, are you out of the game? Dude, I completed the game. I'm at 100% completion. I didn't do any gay stuff, but I'm at 100% completion.
I live vicariously through my clients now. Their success is my success.
Isn't that right, Erik? It's so cool to just, when someone's learning something new or having these experiences, to be like, to just remember how good it feels to be loved and to love and to be connected in this way.
I like when guys get into it too. You get the guy that's super into game and he's just excited about it. It's his thing. You don't have to be into it to get results. Some guys just want to learn a little bit, snag a girlfriend, and get out of the game. But I do like working with guys that are excited to learn this stuff. It's exciting. It's transformative.